during one of those visits, I don't recall which one, I was given a tour of the special collections and saw not only the books and manuscripts and other items that were on deposit there, but also the physical facility itself, which was very impressive. I've seen a number of other ones around the country, but the one you have here is really a terrific facility for the safeguarding of papers and rare books and manuscripts, and that stuck with me. The best way to get these rare books, of course, is to buy them when they're new. So then they just cover price, and then a number of years later you have that. But somehow, I guess in 1946 or something, you were not in the market for The Hobbit at that time. No. But I mean, one of the actors on the show that I've become friendly with over the last few years is Sybil Kelly, the wonderful German actress who played Shay. And Sybil was charming, but you know, the first time I met her, she was saying, "Oh, please don't kill Shay, don't kill me." And of course, I'd already killed her like 10 years ago, and I knew her death was coming. I felt so guilty about it. But she's forgiven me since. She's so. Because it's a ripple effect, you know, you make one small change and it doesn't seem very significant, but then when you get to the second season, you have to make a somewhat larger change because you made that small change, and then you get to the third season and you have to make an even bigger change because you didn't set in motion things that were set in motion, or you set in motion something different. So the effects accumulate, and now we're 5 seasons into it, and you know, characters have been eliminated, characters have been combined, changes have been made, and it does accumulate. So inevitably, you get further from the books. There's going to be some surprise deaths, and it's true. You know, for just the reasons that I just addressed, the butterfly effect and the accumulation, yeah, their characters are going to die, and some of them are characters who are not dead in the books, but they're going to be dead on the screen. So, but more than that, I'm not going to give away.
Go.
So nobody is safe. Nobody is safe. The series has transformed my life, where comedians are imitating me on Saturday Night Live, and I'm a character on South Park. I mean, these are things that I could never have possibly dreamed of before, and it's all a little surreal sometimes. I mean, I look at these things and my jaw drops open. You know, what? Me? You know, not even the characters, but me personally. That's pretty weird. You know, I enjoy meeting my fans. I've done this for a long time. You know, I'm a science fiction fantasy writer, and unique among all the genres, science fiction and fantasy since the 1930s has this subculture of conventions, of which AggieCon, you know, that I mentioned earlier, is a part. But science fiction fans have been getting together since the late 30s, when the first conventions were held in Philadelphia and New York City. And I started going to conventions, comic book conventions in the 60s, science fiction conventions in 1971. And you meet your readers there, you meet your fans. I mean, when I went to my first science fiction convention in 1971, registering, the guy said, "Oh, I've read your story." I'd only published one story at the time, but you know, registering and getting my name badge, I met someone who had read me. And that's something a lot of writers, like literary writers or writers in other genres, don't have, because they don't have the convention circuit. So I have been used to it for a long time, and I value it. It's great to, you know, in some other areas of literature, people work on a book for 5 years and they publish it, and I've had writers say to me, it's like throwing it down a well. You know, you get 3 reviews, and then the editor says, "Where's the next book?" And you may be making good money and all that, but you don't get that real sense of an audience. And we in science fiction and fantasy have always had that. That being said, the level that it's now reached is tricky, you know, because I now have so many readers that I can't interact with them the same way that I did before. I can't you know, I used to do book signings and 20 people would show up, which was depressing in one sense, but it was also kind of nice because I could talk with those 20 people and I could say, well, what did you like? You know, who's your favorite character? How did you come to read the book? And I could ask them questions about themselves. When did you start reading the books? And, you know, did a friend recommend them? You know, you have conversations like your person, their person. And now I do book signings and 7,000 people show up. And I did one in Slovenia that literally did have 7,000 people in Slovenia, and it almost killed me. I think I'd still be signing books there if my assistant at the time, Ty, hadn't intervened. So it's great to interact with them, but there's so many that sometimes I feel I wish I could have a little of the old interaction back where you know, there was much more of a sense. Now it's like, we got 7,000 people, we got to keep the line moving. Here, I'll sign one book and next, and I don't feel good about that, but I don't know how else to handle it.